So this video isn't for you, but you're welcome to stay. It might not get many views and it might confuse the algorithm, but honestly, that's okay. I didn't make this video to perform or to grow a channel. I made it because I wanted to tell my wife how much I love her. And honestly, architecture is the language I know best. So if you're watching this, just know this is a love letter, and like most love letters, it's really meant for one person. So we met in high school in Orange County, California. Back then, life was simple in the best way. School during the day, the beach in the afternoon. Salt in the air, sunburns we pretend not to notice, conversations that stretched long past sunset. And there was always this dream of having a little surf shack near the beach, a place where we could smell the crisp ocean air before you even opened your eyes, where the sand followed you inside no matter how hard you tried to keep it out, where life just slowed down just enough to let you feel it. We didn't talk about square footage or careers or budgets or what was realistic. We talked about the feeling, about waking up near the ocean, about surfboards leaning against a wall, about a place that was small and imperfect, but it was entirely ours. A little surf shack. Not a house, not a destination, just a place to be together. We may never build this place. Life has a way of pulling you in directions you didn't plan for. Careers, kids, responsibilities, realities that teenage versions of us couldn't have imagined. But I've learned something over the years. A dream doesn't have to be built to matter. Sometimes just holding it and honoring where it came from, that's enough. So this project isn't a proposal for a real building. It isn't a promise. It's a remembering. A memory or a dream of what the past or even the future could be. I started this project the same way most of my projects begin, with sketching. But this time I wasn't thinking like an architect. I wasn't asking what was the optimal or efficient layout. I was asking what felt right. Loose lines, open corners, spaces that blur between inside and outside. A deck that matters more than the living room. An outdoor shower because sand always follows you home. Windows placed not for symmetry, but for breeze and warmth. This wasn't about perfection, it was about the memory. When I moved into the model, everything came together, almost too easily. Clean lines, generous openings, a layout that made sense, and technically it worked. But the longer I sat with it, the more something felt a little bit off. I was almost a little too confident. It was too complete. It started to feel like a house, a modern California house. And that wasn't the dream we had. That's when it hit me. Somewhere along the way, I had over-designed it. The shack had grown up. It had gained square footage it didn't need. Rooms that implied permanence. Details that felt more like an architectural statement than a shared dream. It wasn't wrong, but it wasn't honest. So I went back. I started subtracting. Walls came down, spaces collapsed into each other, circulation loosened. I reduced the footprint, I lowered the ceiling heights, and I let go of rooms that only existed because that's what houses are supposed to have. The kitchen became simpler. The bedroom became quieter. The living space stopped trying to impress and started trying to breathe. What remained felt lighter, more temporary, more like a place you arrive at barefoot. It was a surf shack again. And the materials followed naturally. Weathered wood, soft whites, textures that look better after a few years of sun and salt. Nothing precious, nothing afraid to age. Light moves gently through flowing curtains, the salty breeze pushing them just enough to remind you the ocean is close. This place doesn't try to hold on to you. It lets the outside in. So as I walk through the space, I don't just imagine guests. I also imagine quiet mornings, coffee on the deck, boards drying in the sun. I imagine laughter echoing through a space that doesn't care if it's messy. I imagine a life that isn't defined by what we own, but by who we're with. We may never have this house, but we've built something far more meaningful. A life, a family, a story that started long before either of us knew where it would lead. This video wasn't about architecture. It was about gratitude. It was about love. About a dream that grew up with us, even if it stayed small. This is my version of a love letter. Thank you for being my home.